We've been looking at the book of Ephesians, and we've been seeing the richness of just the beginning of chapter 1. And it continues on. It's just like Niagara Falls. There's more and more and still more. And we just going to continue now in verse 9. He made known to us the mysteries of his will according to his kind intention, which he purposed in him. God has a mystery which none of us totally understand. Never will until we get to heaven and he explains it all to us. But it's his will. He has a plan. And he's made known some of that mystery to us. And it's according to his kind intentions. Now, it's important for us to remember that he continues to say he purposed in him. Who is the him? That's Jesus, of course. And when we look back over the verses we've already studied in chapter 1, we recognize that he keeps coming back to some of these same phrases. That is his kind intention. You'll find that kind intention in verse 5. His will, verse 5. And here we find again his kind intention and his will again. Purposed, that is, encompassed in Jesus. Now, some of us know people who are all wrapped up in themselves. We would say that, and we'll just use the name John. I'm not having any John person in mind, but John loves John, and it's all about John. Well, in God's case, he says it's Jesus. It's all about Jesus. And he has a mystery which he has partially revealed to us, which is according to his purpose. In verse 10, it goes on and says, with a view to the administration suitable to the fullness of time. That is, the summing up of all things in Christ. That is, he does see an end. He does sum it all up and knows that it's going to come to an end, but it's going to come to an end in Christ. Both the things in heaven and the things on earth. In him. Again, we come back to this is all about Jesus. This is all about his ultimate plan. Also, we have obtained an inheritance, having been predestined according to his purpose. There it is again, his purpose. You keep seeing his will, his purpose, his grace, all summed up in who? Him, Jesus. It's all about Jesus. Also having obtained an inheritance and having been predestined according to his purpose, who works all things after the counsel of his will. And there it is again, his will, not our will, but his will. Now verse 12, to the end that we who were first to hope in Christ would be to the praise of his glory. Now, Paul here is certainly talking about those first disciples and first apostles who trusted in Jesus, those first followers of Jesus, whose goal was to glorify God and bring glory to him, and to recognize that God has a plan, and that plan is in Christ, and that plan is going to come to a conclusion, and the mystery will be totally unveiled. And we'll know exactly his purpose and his plan. But one of the things that I want you to know is that those that went after Paul, those that have died in Christ since Paul, can you imagine the glory in heaven of all of those? I'm not going to name any names, but I can think of dozens and dozens of saints who have gone to be with the Lord since I've been a minister. And I just know the glory that they brought to God. And I can just imagine the welcome they received in heaven as they started to see his purpose and his plan, his kind intentions, his will, all unveiled. 1 Corinthians 2:9, if I may paraphrase 1 Corinthians 2:9, says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, and man's mind and heart hasn't even considered the glories that God has prepared for him. Imagine. Our eye has not seen, our ear has not heard, our minds and hearts have not even thought about the glories that are prepared for us that have trusted in him, Jesus. This morning, as I sat on the deck and I looked at the beauty of the lake, the trees, the animals, I thought, could there be anything more beautiful than this? Yes, there is. As I heard the birds chirping, as I listened to the most elegant speaking and singing on the internet and across my hi-fi, my stereo, could there be anything more beautiful than this? Yes, there could. As I thought about all of the wonderful places in the world that I haven't seen, I thought to myself, could there be anything more beautiful than what's already been created here on the earth? And the answer is yes, there is. Because eye hasn't seen, ear hasn't heard, the mind and the heart hasn't even considered what God's prepared for those who love him. It's all about love. It's all about Jesus. Jesus, who demonstrated his love while we were yet sinners and died for us. It's something to think about, isn't it? We're only 12 verses in to Ephesians 1, and we've already seen the riches that Paul had envisioned, the glories of God, his purpose, his will, his kind intentions, his grace, his mercy, his kindness, all wrapped up in Jesus to an ultimate plan, an ultimate mystery, which eye hasn't seen, ear hasn't heard, mind and heart hasn't even thought about. That's something to think about, isn't it? That's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.